Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
You are now tapped in with Hood in the Morning.
Okay. Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's a mystic here with Sacred Serpent. We about to do a midday podcast style video on this whole situation from a psychological point of view. What's happening in the world, in the social media world? It's some crazy ish going on. But before we get to this crazy ish that's going on, hey, Sacred Man, let us know how you feeling, what products you got going on in these streets, man? Like, what's going on over there in the great state of Pennsylvania?
He's a wild ball for that. Yeah, Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent, initiates of the flame, 2/4 of the initiates here in effect. And yeah, we got that flame on shop stop going. We cultivate, cultivate.com.co. Outside of that, the Discord is popping. Please join the Discord. Please join the masterminds. Become a mastermind. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. And yeah, let's get to this, man, because I foresee a lot of pauses in this, but let's go anyway.
Yeah, we just gonna have a free form, midday podcast inspiring people to join the Discord, which is that upper right hand link. I'm gonna put it in the description because I ain't did it. I was too thirsty to get this content out. This shit been on my brain. Pause. Hey, get your pause button ready.
Yeah,
All
what we pausing to? I ain't hear nothing.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared, AD. Be prepared.
Did you see the description of the video, big bro?
I mean, yeah, I did.
But let's deal with Jordan Peterson first, and from there we'll have our discussion in our main topic.
Logical world, there are two reproductive strategies. You can conceptualize it as a continuum, and there are low investment strategies and high investment strategies. So the low investment strategies characterize animals, many animals, mosquitoes, fish. Mosquitoes, let's talk about, or fish. It's sex without commitment and many offspring, right? So a mosquito doesn't invest in any of its children. There's the sexual element, fertilization of many eggs, like with fish, up to millions of offspring. Let's say in the case of plants, for example, puffballs, I think, produce billions of spores. Almost all of them die, and just enough survive to propagate the species, right? So it's a low investment, high production strategy. On the other end, you have animals that reproduce slowly and invest a lot in their offspring. And human beings are the most extreme example of that strategy. So
let's think about this, because we got to really put on our thinking caps when we extrapolate within ourselves and then within the population fucking wanting to have sex.
Yeah.
You got to figure that part out, because if you don't figure that part out, you probably a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. More than likely.
You probably are responding to trauma and to stress through, having sex, hypersexuality. And with all of that being said, the reality of having a strong, stable relationship is not nothing you built yourself to. So, and I'm just meaning this to all the people that get readings for if they're going to find love. It's a lot of people like that, big bro.
Yeah. The misconception is that people have sex in the forms of relationships and marriage, and that's just not the case. It's more than likely now to a point where we're approaching some form of apocalypse, and we've actually been there for a while, and you brought that to my attention, because it's like sex is everything, and nothing that goes with sex is relevant to people. Like caring about a person, understanding a person, knowing a person, getting to know a person, like none of that stuff matters to people. What matters is, can I get my rocks off and then not have to answer anything about it?
Yeah, there's no real consequence for sex other than the desire to have sex. And then from there, just the way that we've been bred, the way that we have been conditioned through music, through clubs, through social media, through movies, been conditioned through Baddies Club, things of that nature, reality TV shows, Kim Kardashian. We have been conditioned to view sex as no big deal, but that have entered you into the realm of being a psychopath, and that have entered you into a realm where even if you had a family, you wouldn't have the skills and tools necessary to maintain it or to be something good and positive. So within the spiritual construct, it's a lot of people who can't develop intrinsic qualities that are positive because there is just this I can do whatever I want mentality with the spiritual community.
Absolutely. And the fact that um um masturbation is so prevalent, the fact that people spend so much money on sex, it's astronomical, really, the money that's spent on sex. And it's crazy how we're talking about this, and there are so many people who are destitute who don't have, right? There are so many people who are struggling to pay their bills and just live a regular life, not a flourishing life, just a regular life. But yet on the other side, we have this subculture that exists where there are celebrities being born and formed because of how they have sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or their position towards sex. If you listen to the music, right? If you listen to popular music, there's this especially to the women, like the Victoria Monets, the Kalanis, the top tier women, the Rihannas, the Beyoncés. There is this cavalier attitude towards sex that in reality, if you're actually living that way in real life, you are some form of a part of that dark triad. But I think Jordan
Have
Peterson
very
gonna
few
say it. Jordan Peterson gonna say it better than I can say it.
offspring.
Tiana Taylor, all of the top tier popular women artists talk about sex from men very cavalier, very I'm gonna take that dick, ride that dick, and da 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 da. You know what I mean? It's not like
It's super whole hum. Like
it's never demure. It's never
never
like low
demure.
key. Never demure. It's straight up over the top.
And we actually make a multi-generational investment in them because it's not only that you're a parent, you're also a grandparent. And one of the explanations for the human lifespan from the evolutionary side is that we get as old as we get because there's utility to having grandparents around. So anyways, to have a child, a human child that flourishes requires an investment that spans decades. Okay, so we're a high investment species. Now, imagine you took the same logic and you looked within human beings and you said, well, there's going to be human beings that tilt more towards a short-term investment strategy.
And this is what he's breaking down. The flourishing point of all human beings come from your grandparents to your mother to your father. More or less, I know this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound like I'm putting the blame on somebody. But if you're not successful, it's your grandparents and your parents' fault.
Facts.
Hold up, can I cook on that real quick? I just got back. Hold up. And like, only reason why I say that is
Hey
because,
man, who just hit the live, man? This nigga didn't even introduce himself. This nigga just
Word.
randomly
Who the
just
fuck-
who the fuck is this?
nigga?
yo,
Fuck is
man,
this nigga?
I'm the sexiest chocolate youngest.
Wait. I told you have your pause button ready, bro.
Wait.
I told you.
I got that one already, gang. But yeah, family, I'm the sexiest chocolate youngest initiate in the group, AD, known as Alex Dorsey. Hit me up on my
Is
socials.
we gonna have to have a sexy chocolate challenge? I don't know what's happening
Yeah,
here.
Hey,
yeah.
You
gang,
just
look,
claimed that.
we
You
the
just
dark
claimed
skins in the
that.
group,
You
man.
just
I
claimed
can
that.
go
I
toe
don't
to
know.
toe.
I don't know how I feel about that, AD. I'ma
I'm
just be
handsome. I probably
real.
don't got as many hoes as you, but you know
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying.
Hey, I don't know about that. Like
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know
know.
about that.
You got holes in different area codes, young blood.
Yeah. 9 hours away.
But nah, man. But for real, get at me on my social, AD_senpai. Holla at the initiates of the flame. Join the Discord, and also, for real, man. If you in any troubles or need help, go ahead check out the guys, man. We got a lot of stuff planned for y'all. But with that initiative, see what I learned as a young man. You see a lot of other men out here, and not as a comparing, but like you'll meet people, and people have stuff set up for them, right? And as a young man, you get to 26, 25, and you'll notice that certain things that you didn't get help with or y'all didn't have in your family. And some people are unfortunate or whatever, but sometimes you get to a point and you want to blame your parents, but you really can't. You can, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Because that leads you into too much shit of where like, yeah, I could have been here, but it was my mom and daddy fault. You know, at a certain point, you can't be doing that because then you gonna use that as a harbinger not to get anywhere. But your parents supposed to have you set up in a certain way, man, or you gonna be in their house still and they looking at you like, go fucking do this.
Even if they have a house for you to be up in, you know what I mean? Because it's like the reality of sex and parenting is the reason. It is the reason that we should have a full-on psychological conversation, do shadow work, and really figure out each other out and know like me and her are compatible and we can weather any storm. Because when you don't have that backing for the kid, it's like that nigga's butt naked, you know. And then it's a lot of parasites and a lot of like vampiric people in the world that will just latch on to people and just suck their blood, suck their energy away. And now, we all got to sit here with this particular state of affairs where nobody can actually relate, because you can't just be like, I want to be in a relationship, but I just want to fuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can't just want to fuck and build a successful family.
Well, I'll add my 2 cents in, and I'll just go with the numbers, right? So we talking about grandparents, right? So I'll just speak from my aspect. The patriarch of my family, the grandfather of my family, is not actually the biological grandfather of all my aunts and uncles, right? So back in that time, back in that day, that was a thing that wasn't spoken about. How many people had grandparents and their grandfather is not actually their grandfather? That's just who your grandmother ended up with, right? Now you fast forward from that generation to the next generation, and just amongst melanated peoples, we are close to 70% children out of wedlock. Over 45% of those children are not being fathered by the actual biological father, because the biological father doesn't even know he's the father, right? And then now you get to a point where you have people with 1,500, 2,000 body count, right? Like you see the progression throughout the generations. So like these numbers don't lie. Over 45% of the men that are having kids are not the biological father of those children. Before that generation, the women were having sex, creating and starting these families, and then propping up with the man that wasn't the biological father of these families. So that's a trickle down effect. Now It's a point where it's all about sex and there is no family. So this is the complete and total destruction of the nuclear family, and we're getting to witness it in real time.
It's an apocalypse, like we had said, but I'm gonna keep going through with this video and get to the main topic. But pay attention to what he's saying. So far, he's relating to there's two different spectrums. There's low maintenance sexual reproductive strategies, and then there's high maintenance reproductive strategies. In reference to low and high, it's actually a way for human beings to interact with one another that is low maintenance and high maintenance. The low maintenance would be, you know, fucking everything that you see, and the high maintenance would be really trying to build a family and investing in your children, so forth and so on.
And there's going to be human beings that tilt more towards a long-term investment strategy. So the short-term investors they'd be the hedonists, Matt. They'd be the ones who are pursuing the one-night stands and that believe that love is free and that every form of sexual expression is acceptable and that you should just do your own thing and let it all hang out. And they started to, what would you say, march forward en masse in the 1960s, probably partly because birth control made that a more viable philosophy, practically speaking. Okay.
So let's look at this now. Let's look at this shit now. Because a lot of shit can go over our heads. Let's just have a conversation on this. Mm-hmm. Hedonism is the idea that pleasure is the most important aspect of life and that it should be the primary motivation for people's actions, thoughts, and lifestyle. Okay? What has social media birthed in, this ideology? As a theory of value, hedonism states that all and only pleasure is intrinsically valuable and all and only pain is intrinsically not valuable. So whenever you introduce pain to the modern child and the modern man and the modern woman, whenever you introduce pain, they don't see the value in it any longer. Okay, you know why? If you told your kids today we're gonna just play Xbox, be on the iPad, we're gonna go to the jumping jamboree, and after that we're going to Six Flags, we're gonna get pizza, we're gonna go after that get cotton candy, then after that we finally gonna get ice cream, your kid will be like, hell yeah, mommy. That's a wonderful, brilliant idea because your child is a fucking hedonist. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you as the parent are the hedonist because a lot of parents feel bad for not being able to do all of the fly shit for their children. One in the chat. Don't have me sounding crazy on this fucking live.
Hey, one, nigga, this shit. How many times do you hear, I just want you to have the life I didn't have?
Looking ass.
Yeah, I was the dad that whenever one of my kids had a birthday, everybody got gifts. So I know exactly what the fuck you talking about.
Because you ain't want them to feel bad for not having a gift, looking ass, boy. Mm-hmm. Listen, and in reality, they didn't say, you know what, Dad, I don't need a gift. They took that shit.
Yep.
Because we are breeding it. Because we were bred as millennials through television. We didn't watch TV. We were advertised to, nigga. They didn't give a fuck what we was watching. Nope. They just wanted to make sure that you seen all of the shit that was possible for you to buy. And therefore, when you got older, you was trying to recreate that shit in some form or fashion, aesthetically, whatever the case may be. So it is a conversation that you might want to have with the person that's closest to you. How do you feel about pain? How do you feel about pleasure? Because if you pop open the hood to a motherfucker you are gonna see that this motherfucker only care about pleasure, and you might have some real shit that you're trying to accomplish. So you putting on an extra weight for no fucking reason.
So let's say you can identify, well, let's start with men. You can identify men who have a short-term mating strategy versus men who are high investment. Now you might ask, well, what are the characterological differences between those men? And this is where it gets fun. The short-term oriented maters, men, are psychopathic, Machiavellian, narcissistic, and sadistic. So isn't that fun? So what that means for women is that if women pursue men who are oriented towards one-night stands, let's say, and casual sex, they end up delivering themselves to the dark tetrad types, the psychopathic, narcissistic, Machiavellian sadists.
Did y'all read that? Did y'all hear that?
Absolutely. Sadism. Absolutely. Sadism. Yeah, it's it's all about pleasure. It's all about what I can get right now, and nothing else matters. So we're gonna pattern everything we do around getting that one night stand, getting those cheeks clapped. And when a woman pursues a man like that, oh, she gets what she bargained for, and probably more, because he has no qualms about off from her and jumping onto another broad the next day. Like, he has no qualms about any of that, and the woman, unfortunately, by her being so immersed in emotionality, like, she eventually is going to garner some form of feelings, but the man is compartmentalized. The man doesn't care. That man, the sadist, he doesn't care. He doesn't care whatsoever, because especially if he's a high functioning or high value man, the last thing he's going to do is confide himself to one woman.
If you ever feel like you off track, you probably fuck somebody you shouldn't. You should.
Wait. Okay.
Whoa.
This nigga dropping the science.
Okay. Let's get it.
No, for real, because if you just heard what he just said, and then y'all just got into Satanism, and then he said once she has sex with this man, she basically just took on the spirit of this man, now finna pass it on.
And what we're not talking about is the reality that most of these people are they just can't pair bond whatsoever. And if you can't pair bond, right, because you've had too many partners, well, now you just stuck in this Russian roulette of sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sex and nothing else. Especially if desire is so far up here, desire, lust, and being pleased is so far up here, and your intrinsic values, your morals, your respect for self, all of that stuff is down here. There is no way for any of this shit to be beneficial to you. You're going to get your cheeks clapped. It may feel great, but it's never going to be anything that's going to fulfill you completely, because you're going to keep needing to fill that hole. You're going to keep needing to fill that hole. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you feeding, see, like, I used to be this person, be like, all right, one more last time, I'm done, we're gonna be focused. See, maybe 5% chance that might work, but 9 times 10, when you feed that hunger, you're just making it more hungrier. So once you feed God's hunger, you're gonna satisfy God, and then you're gonna let go of the other shit, right? So whatever hunger you're satisfying, bad shit, good shit, however you want to categorize it, you're feeding it just for it to get hungry again. So you gotta think about that. So sometimes you're better off going cold turkey or having some herbs to help you stop doing certain shit, because you just literally feeding the demon. Like, that's the demon talking to you. Like, yeah, one more time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch the flick one more time. Then I'm gonna delete off my computer. A few days later, somehow I'm typing it back in. Like, okay, well, It's really the last time.
Real question is, where's God in all of this, right? Like, where does God come up in all of this, bro? Like,
having structure. That's where God
Yeah.
comes from, the structure of it, right? Because it's like when you put a structure to your life, and then when you put a structure, like as a young man, like okay, like I'm getting my life together. Soon later, I'm gonna start looking for a partner, right? It's all structure to it. You just can't just be out here willy nilly. You really can't. That's when you know it's not God to it. It's just we just in this bitch.
In reality, when you say that you can't, like you can't, not like you, even if a man wants to, right? A man that wants to can't. Like if you God centered, God centered men are lames, are losers, are nice guys, are fuck boys, are
squares from
crash outs,
Delaware.
are squares, are every negative connotation word. That's what a God centered man is, because even the idea of a nigga saying, "Oh, I want to fuck all of these bitches," you can't. Why? Because the bitch is not gonna fuck with you, because in reference to the dark tetrad, being a Machiavellianist, you got to manipulate, exploit, be cynical. You got to be egotistical, dominant, self-centered. You got to be callous, impulsive, lack empathy. You got to have a lot going on within you internally on the negative spectrum that cuts you off from God completely, and therefore the ways for which you relate to yourself and to other people is only to fuck. So it's ways for which people pour into themselves and care for themselves and love on themselves for the sole purpose to get some pussy. I heard a Facebook post back in the day. It was very true. She was like, man, these niggas will fucking take you on a date. You know what I'm saying? Get to know your kids, get to know your family members, show up to the barbecue, be real receptive, real responsive, work you through your trauma. All of this just to fuck.
Cause that ain't no
We
Ogun
need
right there.
to, but we need to understand this, right? So we're talking about the man is the giver and the woman is the receiver. So like the man knows how to plot and wait. Like think about how many women have male friends, and that nigga is not a male friend. That nigga is just waiting you out, right?
Strategic and calculated.
Yes, he's just waiting. He's just waiting to that one trauma dump moment where he could just be like, "Yeah, put your head right here. Yeah, that's fucked up what that nigga did to you. Yeah, take your pants off." Like the next thing you know, you in a whole new situationship. You ain't even get out of the one that you was in,
Man.
and this nigga is on to the next, right? Like he is gone. Like there is no qualms in his head about shit. I probably shouldn't do this to her. I'm probably lying to her every time I open up my mouth. Then none of that even comes across his head, because the idea is I am the giver. And anybody that is willing to receive what I want to give, I'm going to give it to them. And if there is no idea of structure or any divinity that exists within us, no spirit acknowledgement whatsoever, then yeah, it's all about getting those cheeks and moving on to the next one. Bro, we got guys like Wilt Chamberlain that are known for being great for what? Not for dunking a basketball, for having over 50,000 women that he slept with and wrote a book about it, right? Like, we prop up the person who has a lot of partners as opposed to understanding what that represents for the masses, right? Like, because that also is a trickle down effect, because if one person feels like they can get to 50,000 and then be propped up like some star, some celebrity, then another person probably wants to do it. People do a lot of crazy
Same
things.
thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was done.
No, go ahead. I was trying to just pop it up, but go ahead, finish your
Nah, I
point.
was just saying people do a lot of crazy things for fame, bro. And the sexual aspect of it is just about accumulation and conquering. And when a man is able to conquer and nothing is stopping him from being able to conquer a woman, that's what he's gonna do every single fucking time.
Because niggas just gonna hit you with some, like, after he get them cheeks, he gonna hit you with some. You gonna be like, I feel bad, did something wrong. Nah, it was just some head. Don't trip. And you gonna be like, yeah, you right. It was just we friends. It was just sex. That's how niggas get you. They just make you think it's just sex.
Pull up the last quote in the chat, big bro.
I got you.
Cause I remember I asked my homie, he just got married. I go, wait, hold up. What do I do if I'm tired of being stalked and harassed and I'm ready to take my own life? I'm 20. Supposed to turn 21 first, but I lost my will to live. So, you know what's just crazy, man? I feel like this conversation goes into the astrological bit I studied today, and the Neptune and the moon was on the first decan of Pisces, which is ruled by Sagittarius. I mean, not Sagittarius, I'm sorry, Saturn, and that is the Eight of Cups, indolence. And I was literally talking about the balance of like so much pleasure and so much pain.
You know, there's a thin line between the two.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very thin line because it's only but so far you can go to get to being pleased before it goes into, you know what I mean? Like there's only but so much pleasure you can get, right?
No, but that's the mind control. The mind control is the paradox of overabundance, the paradox of plenty. So where a person has a life that they could be grateful for, they don't have the capacity to be grateful for it because they want more. And there's no such thing as more pleasure. There's no such thing as more pain. It either is or it isn't. Or what you could actually do is learn how to balance that pain and pleasure and find things that you can do that exercise pain and pleasure, such as working out, such as taking a walk, such as, finishing a project that you're 3/4 away from finishing. But in this life, you're not going to have more suffering than the suffering that you've already experienced. So within that concept is a relief. You won't suffer more, right? You won't experience more pain. You're just at a hormonal depletion of dopamine to which you can replenish this dopamine by doing things that create dopamine on the long term. So there's a list of things. I will pull it from my Instagram, but y'all can go ahead and I would like if y'all want to answer that question. I'm just gonna find this list real quick.
I can really relate to this too because one, we not that far in age, and I know a lot of times you hear that and that kind of don't mean shit, but at the same time, to me it kind of does because experience is a motherfucker. Whether you feel like you don't have a lot of it or if you feel like you've been through a lot of shit. But most of the time, all that turmoil that you're going through is really gas and fuel for the fire. Sometimes we need shit under our ass to make us move. And some circumstances is either we got too much pain or we know that we can do it, we know we can fix it, but it's so much laziness. But I'm going to tell you this. Laziness kills ambition and ambition kills laziness. So which one you ever feeding is going to always overtop the other. So if you could do one thing every day so you can feel good when that sun goes down, that's how you can start.
And I would say surround yourself with the best people that you can possibly surround yourself with. I would say have conversations with people that care about you and let them know where you are at, where you stand. And I would say don't be afraid to not look outside yourself and compare yourself to what other people have and what you don't have. Your life is not based in comparison. Your life is not rooted in what you have versus what another person doesn't have or does have. And if you have things in this world that you want to accomplish, you have things in this world that you want to do, the only thing that's going to stop you from doing those things is you. That's what I would say. And join the Discord because we will absolutely prop you up to where you need to be. Join the Discord.
And the the beauty of depression is that depression only comes to people that have something to be grateful for, an assortment, an abundance of things to be grateful for. To which the ability, I view it, it's like my theory that I created called trash bag theory, where I knew that I could be very happy at some point in my life because I created an ability to be very, very sad. So I knew that if I emptied out this trash bag with all of the sad shit I filled it up with, I could fill it up with positive things. And that is actually true, you know. So that was a long time ago when I was going through my Saturn return, Dark Night of the Soul type of deal. And it was a very dark time for me. But I had this epiphany that all I have to do is dump out my black trash plastic bag and fill it up with positive situations. So whether I'm at work, overperforming at work, my appearance, you know, whatever I'm doing, I could just, you know, fill it up with positive experiences, and that would be my claim to fame. So in life, we do have a lot of bad experiences, but the fun part about life is that we can start over every single day, right? Every day is a new day, and that's really much God, you know.
And the beauty about it is like the big bro said, like you're not gonna go through any more pain than you're already feeling right now.
Yeah,
And,
there's no such thing of more pain.
and when you make that decision consciously that you're not gonna let your pain determine your existence, then you can start to peel back those layers and put something in place that you actually want to do.
Let's get into this shit.
strategy because themselves to the dark tetrad types, the psychopathic, narcissistic, Machiavellian sadists. Now you can say the same thing about women, is that women, it's rarer for women to adopt a short-term mating strategy because sex is more costly for women. Obviously, they pay a higher emotional price for short-term pairings. They're more likely to mistake short-term pairings for genuine emotional commitment, and they're much more likely to be psychopathological if they adopt a short-term strategy to mating, independent of that. And so what we also see with the breakdown of the family, because that breakdown facilitates short-term mating strategies, is that we see the untrammeled rise of the psychopathic narcissists. And like, I see that making, as a clinician, I see that making itself manifest in the hedonistic pride movement continually.
Hedonistic pride movement. Holy shit.
My dick belongs where it belongs, and I should fuck
Wait,
whoever I want.
wait. Pause.
Pause.
Pause that.
That's literally what when he said that, that's what that meant to me. Motherfuckers like, I can fuck whoever I want to fuck.
Oh, yo.
No, but the basis of adult millennial black people that I know, they have no boundaries or structures when it comes to people that they have sex with. And so fuck what niggas is talking about online. I know in these goddamn streets, motherfuckers will fuck the day that they meet you, if they like you, if they feeling you, if you taking them to the right restaurant, if you wearing the right size jeans, if your jeans fit perfectly, if you wearing the right type of shoes, if you got the right type of drip, if you got the right type of swag. All of these concepts infiltrate the consciousness and the psyche of people. Therefore, the hedonistic pride is not just for the gay people. I've been seeing that ever since I've been a child. I've never seen, I'm going to wait till I get married to have sex with this person. I've never seen that. Have y'all ever seen that in real life? A motherfucker just like, you know what? I'm going to hold off till we get married. That's not a part of our tradition. That's not a part of our customs. We are a hedonistic people. And if we can't come to that fucking understanding, then we need to just shut the fuck up. Because what comes after pleasure? Pain. So don't try to come to me like I don't know where all this pain is coming from, hood. I'm just so lost on why this pain just comes, because you are hedonistic. Pleasure creates pain. If you food, sex, and parties, that's what niggas give a fuck about.
People
Your mama, your daddy, everybody in your family will come together for what? A party. Am I lying?
Yep. Won't talk to each other any other fucking time. As soon as a party going on, we don't.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
nephew!
queuing, drinking
Nephew!
beers. Uncle
Fuck
have
out of
pork
here.
steaks on the
You
grill.
done had my number all this time, nigga. I ain't heard from you for 366 days.
Can
You
you
know
bring
what
that
I'm
mac
saying?
and cheese that you always make?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I could show up for the mac and cheese. Yeah, you right.
Yeah. What we always talk about, the fucking cookout. You know what I'm saying?
What everybody always say? Oh, I'll invite them to the cookout. That's all motherfuckers think about.
The fuck? Yeah, and if you understand, you don't understand what that means, that there's a thin line between pain and pleasure. And stop getting, once you stop getting the pleasure that you've been getting, that's the pain part. Right? Like once you can't get it the way you were getting it before, yeah, that's the pain part.
Hey, if the dick is good, soon as the dick stop, that's the pain part.
That's the pain part.
Soon as the dick stop, bitch, the pain starts. So the whole
Right
time you
away.
existed, the moment is pulled out. Swoop,
Yeah.
pain.
The first time you don't nut, that's the pain part. That's the pain part, boo boo.
When it just slide in so easily, that's the pain.
Yes.
When you find a man that loves you and care for you, but he just not hitting that spot, like the nigga that you met at the club hitting that spot, that's the pain that comes after that pleasure. Pair bonding, I don't actually believe in that. Why can't I find a man? But you was fucking in your 20s freely, willy-nilly, like a fucking Jezebel. All of a sudden, you'd be like, well, these men ain't shit. How do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you know that the men ain't shit? Is my question.
Yeah. Because
you only got to get it right once.
Yeah, because that pleasure-filled time that you had, that you called the best time that you had, you know, you created.
Oh, you're talking about when he hit that bottom.
Yeah, when he hit that bottom, you know what I'm saying? When he said he was gonna go slow and easy, and then he just rammed it up in.
Yeah, I was sure gonna get on that.
Look. So when you go from that and you create this super nigga in your mind, right? Now, every time you come to interact with another nigga, if he don't match up to G.I. Joe nigga that you created in your mind, that's the pain part.
When Shorty told me that, like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, if I lose him, sex ain't gonna be the same no more. My mind was fucking blown. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's super weird, bro. It's super weird.
She was like, what if I lose this, AD?
Yo, me and her was talking about this earlier.
Give us context. Give us context. This is how you promote your business.
This is how you promote the business. We was talking about this shit earlier, and I asked her, and I was like, yo, you think niggas be thinking that God punished them when they got little wieners? Like, you think that's a thing? Like, niggas just like
Hey, no, this is the most fucked up statement I ever heard. Nigga was talking about God, he good. He goes, yeah, you know how God be. But I just fucking broke down and started getting weak as hell, man. Like, what? Like, yeah, nigga, you know how God be. Like, what?
Niggas chalked it up to God on that one. Yo.
And the conversation is about women too. And that nigga was like, yeah, you know how God be. I was like, what? I don't want to jump in. Let me drink my coffee.
Let's see what else the big homie said. Oh yeah. Play that.
I gotta restart it. Give me a second.
And she having this conversation with her mama. That's the wild part. She talking to her mama in this video.
Was telling me, she said she was having sex with this man. She was sitting on top of him riding. And she said she had gotten into a groove, so, she might have gripped his head, or she might have put her hands on his shoulders, or locked them around the back of his neck, so she made sure it was just like a horse. She had that saddle, and she had the rope, so she couldn't let go. And as she got into that groove, she's sitting on him, she rocking, and she rolling her rhythm, and she had just forgotten where she was. She got into a deep state of euphoria, because she said the dick was good. But it's not the problem, though. She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden, she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's why I'm trying to deal with the fact, wait a minute. Oh, now you telling me your story, and then you switch it on me and say the woman in ecstasy and turn around and slap somebody. She slapped him upside the head. And I said, why did you slap? She said, I couldn't help it. She just got to know your audience. Okay, go on. No, go ahead. No, you finish your story. I want to hear why she slapped him. I told you, she said she just got into this groove. She found her rhythm. See, that's what women don't realize. That's one reason why we get caught. Because the penis is a very powerful organ. It's a very deep, spiritual, sexual, make you slap somebody, heat-seeking missile. It's just like a rocket, see. And inside of every rocket, there's information encoded in it for it to do what it do. He's in her, they have become one on that spiritual, sexual level. So she starts to find the groove, and the parts of his penis start hitting the parts of her vagina walls, harmonizing them, making them sing. And so she feel like she's in church, jumping and shouting because that man hitting them walls like she needed him to hit the walls. And she said it was so good. And she relaxed. And she said at one instant, it was feeling so good to her. The thought crossed her mind that he might let somebody else have a little sample of that. She said it's just the feeling of being caught up in the pleasure and then thinking about, wait a minute, he might do this right here. She said she just slapped him. So I'm just saying sometimes we have to be aware of that because dick will make you slap somebody in the face. Dick will make you lose control. Dick will make you pull a gun and shoot somebody in the damn face. You have to be careful. That's why, because a lot of us have really gone overboard with this. I told
Yo,
I ain't trying to make that mad, but Hood, I think you need to play that Kevin Gates when he was on stage talking about pull your hair, because that's what y'all getting. Y'all getting these demons blowing your back out, and really that's not even the right way, man. I had to learn.
yo.
What you mean by that? You had to learn how.
Hey, yo,
Yo.
How'd you have to learn, AD?
Yeah, please explain that, young blood.
Man, so most men don't know that they penis, or you could call it the sacred mushroom, right? They don't know that that's low key someone with a heart for them. So, they sticking their heart into these places that it shouldn't be, and then they punching, straight ribs. You think you making love and shit, but you not, man. You on some demonic shit right there. And the way I found out, chat, I was in places I shouldn't been, chat.
Hey, man, I don't know where this conversation is
Yeah,
going.
man, like
I'm gonna do Jordan. I'm gonna just upload. Let's let
did
Jordan.
you hit the doobie before you came back? Did you leave and hit the doobie and then come back? Is that what you did?
What type of loud they got in Illinois, man? Pass that shit.
It's that fucking za. It's that fucking za.
Oh, you got that za? You got that za, don't you?
Yeah, he got that za, bro.
Have sex with whoever we want, whenever we want, under any conditions whatsoever. It's like, okay, who are you? Oh, well, we're the psychopathic narcissists who never grew up. It's like, oh, those are you. Those are the people marching in the streets for their hedonistic sexual freedom. And we're going to turn the culture over to them, eh? With their short-term, self-oriented, pure emotional gratification view of the world, where everything's about them now. It's no different than turning the world over to the worst behaved 2-year-olds you could possibly imagine. And I mean that technically too, because all of that is a sign of radical failure to mature. So isn't that fun? All that literature's basically come out in the last 4 or 5 years, identifying the relationship between the psychopathic narcissists and the short-term mating strategies. Brutal.
Yeah, I was just there was a clip that went viral on Twitter. I saw a day or two ago of someone on some podcast, a self-professed queer person, saying that talking about it, and he's HIV positive, and he was explaining why he doesn't think he should have
nature. So we got to address this because he talked about it. He started the conversation off with saying that it is a spectrum in reference to putting effort into developing your children versus putting low effort versus high effort. In nature, there is a spectrum. A lion is going to take care of his offspring better than a mosquito, right? But in reference to a lot of Black children, they have the nature of a mosquito in reference to daddy not being there. Daddy not being there is like kind of like no matter what's going to happen to you, your dad's not going to be there for you. That's crazy. In reference to a dad that could have been there for you, and you would say, is my dad more like a lion or a mosquito? So nature is hedonistic to a certain degree, but then to a certain degree, it is not hedonistic. It's very structured and very ordered, because in reference to the success of the species, you have to create strong children that turn into strong adults. Like the cycle must never end. The problem with us as a society, as a culture, is that we do not pour into our children other than pleasure. These children don't know about pain. Okay. In reference to pain, they're going to melt down, they're going to shut down. So therefore, the millennium parent is the perfect parent for the alpha child, because the millennial actually believes that he can provide or she can provide everything in reference to their child's pleasure spectrum, only to realize that, oh shit, I've created a monster.
You're basically talking about nature versus nurture. And within nature, there is hedonism, but there is also protection, right? So you have these times where you have space where you can be hedonistic with your partner, but that's got to be your partner, right? Like y'all got to have something built together. Y'all got to have a foundation. Y'all got to have a life together. Then y'all can create the space for you guys to be hedonistic with each other when nobody else is around, right? The problem is that part has been skipped, and now we're just going into straight hedonism and then trying to figure it out on the back end, right? Like, did this person really like me? You know what I'm saying? Like, we go straight for the pleasure centers, right? And then we try and figure out what we're going to put around trying to please ourselves. Like, it's ass backwards. We're living backwards. Evil. Like, that's the definition.
And imagine selling for a nigga because y'all had sex at first. You don't really like him, but it's like, this all you can get. And it's like, shit, and I got some bills upcoming too.
It's crazy.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Hey,
Word.
what's crazier is that he gonna pay the bills. That's crazy to me. Like, what the hell?
Is he gonna pay that shit?
He gonna pay that shit? Damn. But
I mean, I always think about the niggas that got multiple families, and I just be like, bro, like, I don't care about the bread. I get it, you got the bread, but how do you do it, bro? Like how do you divide yourself up into so many different fucking people, bro?
Like niggas like Future and
psychopathic, narcissistic, bro.
Like
That's
niggas
perfect.
like Moneybag Yo, they got bread and shit, but still though, to have like 6-8 baby mamas.
Bro, what Future got? Like 12? Bro, that's fucking insane, bro. That's fucking insane. Like you couldn't possibly
mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes. Like you couldn't possibly spread yourself enough to how do you say give each and every one of these people individual love, like and appreciation and attention. Like you couldn't spread yourself that thin. Like this, bro, like 12 people. Imagine filling up the butter knife with mayonnaise, right? Or whatever your spread favor is, right? Now I want you to spread that over 12 pieces of bread. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's basically nothing all the way around.
To divulge the fact that he's HIV positive to any sexual partners of his. And basically the answer is that like doesn't make, it's uncomfortable for him to talk about it and he shouldn't have to do it. And it kind of goes to show it's right. And it's no surprise that this is a self-professed queer person, because on the LGBT activist side, it is entirely a celebration of the self and pursuing your own desires at any cost whatsoever, to the point where now you have LGBT activists, some of them anyway, coming out and saying that, you should be able to pass along HIV if you want to, because it doesn't matter what anyone else says. We talk about this and how it leads to fatherless homes and everything else. I think the other, even more catastrophic consequence is that it also leads to eventually the decline in population, because what ends up happening, I think, is that people give up on having kids. And I think there's a lot of people in my generation that were raised by parents like this, either broken homes or maybe both parents were there physically, but they were very self-centered and just kind of miserable parents. And so then those children grow up, and that's the only example of parenthood that they have. And so they associate being a parent with just abject misery. And so then they swear it off entirely. And I think that we see that now. I was just talking on my YouTube channel. I put up a video a couple days ago of I went to the Reddit. It's called Regretful Parents. There's a Reddit forum. It's a very dark and disturbing place, as you can imagine. And it's just nothing but parents, as the name implies, parents who had kids and regret it and now quite openly hate their own children. I mean, some of these, I read a few of them, and it's, mothers with 5-year-old daughters expressing that they hate their daughters just for existing, because their kids are infringing on their lifestyle and making them do things they don't want to do. And then you just think, well, when those kids grow up, because of course those kids know that they're hated, even if they can't put it into words. And those kids grow up, and many of them are probably going to say, well, if this is what having kids is all about, then I don't want to do it. They don't know any other way. And then you end up with people that just swear off family life entirely.
Makes me think about the single parent mother or father who despises their child because the other parent isn't around. That's what that makes me think of.
Yeah, and I've been gaslit my whole life, and I've been gaslit internally and externally into thinking that something was wrong with my father in reference to him not being there to take care of me or whatever the case may be. But that nigga was out trying to get some pussy in the first place. He wasn't trying to be nobody's fucking dad or father. Nope. He was a mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
So
my father was a Rolling Stone too. My father had 9 kids by 6 different women.
Yeah, but I bet you was gaslit at some level, like your dad ain't shit.
Most of my adolescent life, even when the few times that he did come around, like I stopped seeing him after I was like 8 years old. But when he did come around, the times that he did come around, and no matter what he did, whenever he left, she made sure that I knew how she felt about it. Made sure.
Right. And so a lot of times our relationship with our father has to get filtered through our mother's experience with him in reference to that might be just enough toxicity to alienate and isolate the man entirely from even participating in your existence just because your mom don't like him. You know what I mean? Or your mom don't. And how could she like him when she let him fuck on the first night? Or, they was boyfriend and girlfriend through
But she
proximity.
realizes that she was one of many. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, oh, now that's the thing. Oh, he cheated on me, but this nigga was laying cock before you and after you. So what is the big deal?
He got you while laying cock to other people.
Yeah,
Right?
he was a cock slayer. He walked around with a sword. Everybody knew he was goddamn, L the fucking cock slayer. Like he was out here slaying cocks. And what he was, everybody knew he had the number one sword in the city, in the town, and you wanted to keep.
Number one sword is crazy.
That's what it was. The goddamn nigga was a samurai. You know what I mean?
They said the first samurai was black. They did say
that. You know what I'm saying? Chopping shit down. So it's like
AD's backstage.
Okay. And when I'm looking for him. But when we talk about this, and we talk about this new generation of kids and people, and we was talking about this on the backstage, you know who the new celebrity is now? It's not the rapper, okay? It's not the actor. It's not the
writer.
Nope, it's not the writer. It's not the producer. It's not the director.
The podcaster.
No, not the podcaster. The new celebrity, right, in the hearts and minds of men and women is the porn star.
Wow.
Introducing Gucci Third Leg, a man who have what I've been watching some podcasts. Gucci Third Leg has motion.
He got motion?
He got motion. I'm not about to pull up his Twitter because they'll shut down the whole video. But yeah, I'm gonna just see how many followers he got. Nah, this nigga's Twitter is wild. And I'm like, damn, my brother is giving it up. I ain't mad at it, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, who am I to judge?
Really like to fuck around. Some of us really like to fuck around and find out. Like some of us is about that life. Like some must be about that life. Look at his name, bro. Like pause. Gucci, bro.
I don't even want to say that shit.
Elaine, So, anyways, this man, what's happening is, and I'm gonna show the video. It's a girl who claimed that he gave her HSV2 when they was doing an adult scene together. But they had a professional relationship supposedly, but I guess the professional relationship was so profound that she got his name tattooed on her forehead. Okay. So whatever, 4 days into the relationship, she get a tattoo, and I guess the relationship didn't pan out the way she wanted it to. So now she's on the social medias, the Aiden Rosses, the DJ Academics, saying that he burnt her, gave her an STD, and she's crying about it. But my thing is, y'all having sex without no condom on camera. So even if you did get an STD, wouldn't you want to keep that to the chest? And then it also make me think how, damn, motherfuckers are just really out here living reckless as hell. Like this is what's happening out here. Like, and this is just where it was going to naturally lead to with Kim Kardashian being as lit as she is, that this is the evolution. And I know it's probably surprising to a lot of people, but this is reality,
I hit it first.
Whoa. Let's get into it.
I think my body count was like 3,100, but I was really, I didn't feel too bad about it because my ex-chick down in the body had like 2,000 or whatever, but so it was like when I was dealing with my chick, she couldn't really be like, oh, your body count's too much, because her body count like 2,000. My body count like 3,000, so it's like, damn, like I ain't feel too bad about it, honestly. Last year,
I'm a dancer.
So
I ain't
between,
52
Okay,
bad.
so let's start
so
there.
between two of them, you talking about 5,000 bodies? Wow.
Yeah, somebody's gonna catch some.
This is what I'm saying. Like, why y'all talk about it if y'all like? That's like hopping into the water and then saying, you know what? I just happened to get wet, man. Ain't that shit so crazy? And crying about it. Like, I can't believe I got wet. I dived off the fucking diving board into a 12-foot pool. What's wrong, baby? I'm wet. I can't believe it. I have sex with 5,000 people and I got this sexual transmitted disease. Why me, God?
What I said earlier, you know how God be.
That is so disheartening.
It's not. It's not
When you
real.
say it like that, it's so disheartening, bro.
Yeah, it's not real.
My body count it's not 2,000. It's over 2,000 now. Like,
How old are you?
I'm 27. What? So since that interview, I've had sex with more people.
If she proud, bro, that's a badge for her.
This is what I'm saying. It's not like people can even have the psychological wherewithal to even understand that, oh, I'm a psychopath. Oh, I'm a narcissist. Oh, I'm really displaying psychopathic tendencies. I'm really a mosquito out here.
Facts. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy. Because to the person like, I don't want no kids. I don't want no family. I just want to have sex. At a certain point, like, man, you can have sex twice in the same day and have a whole different viewpoint on it. Like, you know, why is we even doing this for real? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so having sex all that many times, you can't actually find pleasure and value from the act any longer. And that is the dark side of pleasure.
And I think her and his pleasure comes from the fact that they can keep doing it as opposed to what they're actually feeling while doing it, right? Because your body got to be numb at this point, right? There's no fucking way that her womb is not a fucking dumpster fire and his fucking phallus is not like, bro, like there's no fucking way, yo. Like that's 5,000 fucking people between the two of y'all. That's crazy.
They was saying how like bro had open sores on this shit.
Yeah, someone said a halo.
Had a little golden nuggets on this shit.
Golden nuggets.
My thing is like, man, like, yo, sword don't hurt. Like,
yo, you niggas disgust me. This is the
This is the bottom of the bottoms, baby. This is where we can have a real psychological conversation because they're having the conversation up front, able to dissect it and find, you know, the psychological essence previous to the act. Because we can't have these conversations with people who's like, yeah, I've never even seen a dick. What does a dick actually look like? Since we talking about sex, like, you know, I've never even fucked a guy ever. But when am I gonna find the love? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, we can't have genuine conversations. So I find that this conversation is good. It's surprising. But bitches be on dating apps, fucking niggas on the low all the fucking time. Period. Like, and it's worse. And it's worse. It's worse because you're not even fucking these dudes online with a condom. You're not even like telling nobody about it. It's worse that you're not telling them. But like these people is supreme. These people got motion because they don't give a fuck. Niggas be like, well, they could fucking pay their bills. Niggas be like, man, I don't even know I'm gonna pay my bills. But you fucking niggas on the low. Don't got $1.
And this is exactly why they will prop these people up, because this is what's going to destroy the community from the inside out. So
facts.
Why not prop this man up?
And you know what makes this panel different from other panels is because they'll take something like this and base it on a big ass argument and try to make a twist out of it and be like, you should be doing it. Whereas in like, we try to really get into the deep psychoanalysis of this shit and really have you understand like why you shouldn't have your box everywhere or why you shouldn't have your sword everywhere. Because a lot of people ain't telling you that.
I can't get with the idea of First of all, I think I've only met 5,000 people in my whole fucking life. So, the idea that we just gonna have this fucking Ferris wheel of fucking Dak, right? Or this Ferris wheel of bro. Oh man, like where is the connection point?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you the connection point because fuck all of that, bro. People is being exposed to pornography as early as 7, as early as 6, as early as 8, and going to school. Once they become 12, going through puberty, they're having sex. They did a study that said that fucking, and I'm just spitballing. Don't. You can do the research yourself, but 50% of the students are already having sex, while 75% of the parents don't even think their kids have even seen pornography yet. 75% of parents don't think that their kids know what pornography is. And the reality is that these children know about sex. They know about pornography. When you're not with your kids and they're just off willy-nilly and you trust them, it's a high percentage. I would say 50 to 60% of the time they're having sex or
They're either
sexual
having sex,
contact.
they're either having sex or they're seeking out to be able to watch sex.
Yeah, they
Like,
yep, they
all
heard
these
one or the
devices,
other.
all of these devices that people have access to is free, right? You can just pull that shit up on your phone.
Off the
right?
muscle.
No, but even worse though, the dopamine that the kids don't have the ability to balance yet is OD. So
Yeah.
everything that a kid is thinking about is pleasure. They're not thinking of like, and the sex, the pornography, or the actual sex is all pleasure.
And the other side is crash out, right?
Yeah,
Because you at that age still don't know how to balance your emotions with your logic and your reasoning, right? So everything is wrapped around this pleasure-filled center, and yeah, you might be able to get it for a good period of time, but what happens when you stop getting it, right? Like what happens when it's no longer available? You crash the fuck out at that age.
And plus, when you think about it, I'm pretty sure we said we ain't seen more ass than our ancestors and forefathers. Like it's just so easily.
Like when somebody can put sex in the palm of your hand, that's weird, bro.
That's mostly all what rap is nowadays. They just talking about sex.
That's weird, bro.
Yeah, I took his girl, then I got some more money, then I got me another girl. Like that's mostly what all rap is.
That shit is crazy work, bro.
I'm just telling my truth. Okay, I've been literally, I remember I lost my virginity at 12 years old. I remember the boy, everything. I remember the whole day like it was yesterday. But 12, bitch, to now, it's been a lot. Girl, is it just my body count for just niggas or niggas and bitches?
Everybody.
I would say like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd say like 2,000. To be real honest, like if you put niggas and bitches, because I done fucked a lot of bitches too. So I be fucking niggas, I be fucking bitches. And I you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna front. Like I'm gonna keep it blood raw. Like bitch, probably two bands, 2,000 bitch sexual partners. Absolutely, yeah.
Hood.
Holy shit, man.
Hood. You remember when we was talking about, I think it's our last live, after you had seen like, from people watching porn, they start seeing heterosexual porn, and next thing it gets to a point where it's whatever now, because my mind just been so open to shit and I just been doing so many things. That's that right there.
No, it's like you get desensitized from the regular mundane, and you always want. That's the paradox of overabundance to this idea of more pleasure, right? And thus a deeper orgasmic release. And they even say like you grew up around the crackheads. What are crackheads chasing? Crackheads always chasing their first high, right? That big dopamine release. That's what people are chasing when they're doing these high risk activities, high dopamine things, casual sex, stuff like that, porn, and all this type of stuff. They don't have any other solution other than to do more because they don't understand balance and they don't understand pain. Right? There's a way to do all of this shit successfully, but
That's a
you
fact.
gotta understand your hormones and you gotta understand that it's not a numbers thing. Like, what's
Mhm.
the difference between doing OnlyFans content either by yourself or with the same partner? Right now, you doing it to whereas you're not putting yourself out there and you still have a capability of making money. But if you're doing OnlyFans content and you just spreading it all over the city, doing boy girls, that's crazy. It's a way to have sex in your relationship by yourself or with the same partner. When then you start spreading it throughout the city, like a lot of times women will be sexually unhappy in their relationship and then get out of that relationship just to have sex with a guy. That's crazy because that guy that's having sex with you is not even treating you the same way as your previous boyfriend, husband. But when you don't have the correlation between mosquitoes and lions, a lot of times think about how crazy it is for a lioness to leave a lion for having a harem of lions just to fuck a mosquito.
Ooh wee, ooh wee.
We talking about the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, the 80-20 rule. So most most people in relationships, in decent relationships, they find a partner, and that partner can give them 80% of what they actually want, so to speak, right? But they will leave that 80% to get with one person who's going to give them that 20% because the 20% is what they really want. That 20% might be a big DAC, right? That 20% might be a wet wop, right? Like that 20% might be, yeah, this person really turns me on versus this person has a job, this person is providing, this person is always available, this person is emotionally intelligent. Like those things get thrown out the window because that 20% or that 10% is that much more important to that person. That tells you the character of the individual and where they're really at. You know what I'm saying? What they really want versus what they're saying they want.
Mhm. Yeah. And then it just goes back to just the children, the kids, the Gen Zs, which is the forgotten generation, and the Gen Alphas, which is a culmination of all the fuckery that we have been putting into our way of living. To whereas now, um, the sexual energy and the lack of morality and the lack of discipline is showing up as straight up psychological and mental effects that even spirituality can't help these people, because the news study that they just put out this week is that, and I've said this before, when I say you can't put toothpaste back into a tube, so you coming into spirituality acting like you're going to solve all your problems, you're going to be sadly mistaken, because if you are a crash out, you can't repair yourself back to the original state. You just can't. But the study that's coming out this past week is saying how when you traumatize, you can't just woo woo it away.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
And it's actually psychological studies in reference to that. So what the best thing to do is to pour into your children, invest in your children so that your children can possibly make it in this world. Because for a lot of us, we through booking, okay?
Mm-hmm,
Done for. We
mm-hmm.
already was fucking. We already let the whole football team come through. So at a certain point, you don't recover from that. The only thing you can do is try to inform another generation in the proper customs and the proper ways to live outside of following this hedonistic culture, this hedonistic society.
Yeah, because the implications are far more dire in that aspect than um actually thinking that the progeny is just there as some obstacle that you need to conquer in order for you to still live the life that you want to live. Like, it's about the progeny. And if you were gifted with that understanding and that life, you were gifted with that life, that means you were given another chance, essentially. So you have an opportunity to get it right. And I think the main thing is that people just don't want to get it right, bro. People just don't, they don't view family and progeny and legacy and things like that as things that matter. They view what I can get right now. We live in a microwave era where everything is about right now. And if I can't get satisfied right now, then I don't want it, which is super fucking weird.
Mm.
Say, yes, he gave it to me. It's devastating to have to come on here and share that whenever I was 19 years old, Gucci third leg burned me with HSV2. And he told me that he was going to send me his test results. And he never did. And it saddens me to hear that he's done this to so many girls. And there's girls with so many similar stories to me. And they're so young as well. He is preying on the young. He is preying on the...
Hold on, sis. Was you crying like that when you was on that cock?
Oh, I knew that she was coming.
Hold up a second. When you was riding up and down that goddamn Ferris wheel, that caucus wheel, whatever amusement park ride you was on that particular day, was you crying like this? Because if it came down to a sexual history report or STD test, and you said, I'll get it later.
Yeah,
the fault is on you.
Yeah.
Because you for sure rode that monstrosity from here to goddamn Pakistan. Don't cry on the internet now.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead. I was gonna say, what Trey Songz say was in that motherfucker making love faces. Now we blaming motherfuckers.
Yeah, like love faces to mug faces. Like, we gotta actually, like, pleasure and pain, right? This dichotomy that exists where, hey, if you want to partake in, gravitating towards the wettest wop or the biggest cock, understand that the moment that is over, you eliciting, a lot of pleasure, and your future might be trying to dox them or trying to expose them on IG Live just because you don't have access to that cock. Now, once again, the reality is, if you had access to that cock, you wouldn't be there online crying about him because, like I said, you got his name tattooed on you. So all this professional relationship type shit, no. When girls partake in the porn industry, you're more liable to fall in love than you are to keep it professional, because sex is not a business plan. Unless you're a Devadasi, unless you're a sacred whore, right? Everybody ain't sacred whore. Some of y'all are supposed to just be on the farm raising a family. Right?
Yeah, everybody's not built for this shit.
Hell no.
Yeah, because if you see what these actual sex workers going through, you be like, I'm cool on that. I'm gonna hold my man down.
Ride it on out, sis. But I want to talk about a couple more things she said on here.
And I'm so sorry for not saying this 7 months ago. I was scared and I was making so much money.
I was making so much money. Okay. And when we talk about this type of buffoonery and chicanery, right? The money that people make, it obviously isn't helping them psychologically because they're crying online, right? So much money is really a false positive when you don't know what you're going to actually do with the money.
Or the fact that you don't even realize that the money is not going to always be coming in that way.
And For real. Like, you gotta see, the thing of the more pleasure in the OF stuff is that the boy girl stuff, they want you to see you with different men, or if you're playing with the toys, they want you to play with different toys and all this type of stuff. All of that's gonna do is desensitize your whole entire area. And once again, the OF would just be a microcosm of the macrocosm, because it's a lot of good girls that's acting all goody two shoes, pulling that rose toy out every night, pulling that dildo out every night. And the reality is that's going to make it difficult for you to have a successful relationship. It's not impossible, but make sure that throughout the first getting to know him, let him know, I'm not really going to enjoy sex with you because I've been conditioned to have sex this way. So it's going to take me 6 to 12 months to get acclimated to you and your energy. A lot of times, if you don't have that conversation, what's going to happen is you're going to be like, damn, I don't even like having sex with this dude. Mm-hmm. It's not like you don't like having, if it was only the first time, this is the reality. If it was the first time, you'd be falling head over heels over his cock, right? Mm-hmm. But you done had so many cocks that now you've got a difference of opinion when it comes to cock. And that's the result of it.
In your brain.
Yeah, that's the result of it. That's the only result of it. Nobody gets an award for having you never went to an old lady's house and she fucking plastered different cocks on her wall. Like, yeah, this is Ron Isley. This is James Brown. Right? Your grandma didn't pedestalize cock. She pedestalized her husband and her family. This generation is fried, cooked, and sauteed over a slow simmering boil, nigga. It's a wrap. And I'm telling you, this is a microcosm of the macrocosm. So we can look at it, because at the end of the day, the sexual relationships is a big deal.
Huge deal. It's all anybody wants to talk about. It's all anybody wants to talk about.
Say that last part again. All they want to talk about is what?
Sex.
Yeah.
How did we get here? How do we exist? If we didn't have sex, we wouldn't even be existing. So, like, our parents had sex for us to come into this world, but we have to understand sex is on a spectrum. You know what I mean?
And that's part of it, right? We talk about these young kids getting desensitized through porn early, and then nobody is talking about how they want to tell you how society is trying to effeminize men. However, they don't want to talk about the fact that if a man watches too much porn, he can get effeminized as well, right? Because if you're watching two different sexes have sex, you could be heterosexual all you want. Eventually, your mind is going to have to make room for all of those dacks that you keep looking at, right? Like
you keep seeing dacks.
All those dacks. Like,
you keep seeing dacks.
Like, so now it's a normal thing to you to just see Dak, right? Like, that's weird as a straight heterosexual male to just be seeing a bunch of Daks all the fucking time.
And you seeing all those Daks make you insecure. Y'all ain't ready for that. A lot of people just be like, "Oh, it's just sex." Why? Why is it just sex? I just want to know. Like, because when we say it like that, it's not that as important. They just fucking.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. But I just want to say shortly, like, this, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, right? And I don't want people to take the tone that we are having right now and say like it's all doom and gloom. But what we are saying and what we are trying to translate to the folks is that this path that we've all been on for 4 or 5 decades, so to speak, like, this shit is not going to get any better doing the same thing that's been going on this whole fucking time. Like, we're just kicking the can down the road, doing the same shit over and over again. We're going to get the same results. It's only going to just show up in our kids and keep showing up in their kids. Like, that's just how this goes.
What they say, doing the same thing and expecting change is what? Insanity.
Another point I want to talk about in this video.
can't keep beating around the bush because you guys think I'm lying. And he can't ruin anybody else's life. I didn't know. I didn't know what he was known for. I didn't know who he was. I didn't do my research. And it is my fault.
It was one part where she was like, "I'm only 19," and I was like, "Yeah, that ain't. You can't keep using that excuse when it comes to
Man, I'm only 24. How long till I'm 30?
Yeah, like you gotta stop doing that. I was young. Like, nah, shit. Like we gotta actually start teaching and telling the young that being young is not an excuse. Because do y'all get to use that "I was young" excuse in y'all life when life hit y'all hard with the reality? I was young, right? My young ass was sitting in prison on the back of a state bus. You know what I'm saying?
I
No,
look
that
at
judge
it.
that judge didn't care I was 19.
That's a fact. I look at it like the way people judge the life that they think that I lived. Like, yeah, nobody gives a fuck. I was in jail at 17. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a pass because you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a pass anymore because you didn't know. Because there are plenty of ways for you to find out what you need to know. The problem is that all of your time is wrapped around sex.
Yeah. So back to this. We have a young lady who says she's getting back into the dating game. And now that she's back in the dating game, the first response she get is from a man offering her what? What is she offering? What you think? What do you think the first thing he offering her?
Dak.
You guessed it.
I told you all that I just recently decided that I'm going to start online dating.
And see the arrogance and the ego.
Isn't she like 60?
I don't know. But your ass don't need to get back to online dating ever. Nobody needs to start off their sentence with this ever in their life, okay? I'm gonna repeat it because you arrogant as fuck to think that you gonna get onto the goddamn Plenty of Fish, Match.com, Tenders of the world, and make some waves. You are fucking ignorant, okay? And does anybody that watch this channel, anybody that watched the live, please don't ever say this sentence ever again.
I told you all that I just recently decided that I'm going to start online dating. And
No.
Why?
No.
She finna get her guts run.
No.
No,
Listen.
she not. No, she not.
Why
no,
you
she not.
Why
No,
you don't think she? Why you don't think she not?
Why I don't think she not? It's because she probably got too many standards as it is. I'm just looking at her.
Oh no, I get you. So you saying she not? But
Yeah.
that's not going to stop the dudes from dudes.
Oh no. Yeah. She'll
On
get
the
some
app.
DAC. She'll get some DAC. I don't know if it's gonna be high quality DAC, but she'll get some DAC.
I didn't see niggas change their whole persona for some pussy. Like, I know a nigga that put on a business suit, act like he got a own business for some pussy, nigga. It's dangerous out here. I'm serious.
Listen,
niggas will become what you want.
I don't want to ruffle no feathers, right? For the women in the chat or the women that might watch this post live, right? But the homie Corey Oakham said, dudes will absolutely mess with the cougars of the world because your vagina is a dumpster fire.
Oh wow. Wow.
You can't produce no more. You can't produce no more children. So dudes is going to be more than willing, you know what I'm saying, to sacrifice that yoni because there is nothing that you can reproduce out of that thing anymore, right? So yeah, she'll get some DAC. But like I said, the quality of DAC is going to be different.
Yeah, I think
So
you
I
didn't
put
make
up a
the
profile.
ladies mad, bro. You make the young men mad because you just gave them up.
Over the weekend, and the very first person who wrote to me told me that he was looking for something casual and consistent. This is what he said to me. He's looking for something casual and consistent. And I had to explain to him, we both know.
You're not going to change the spots on a leopard. You're not going to enter into the dating market and men going to say, oh, shit, you know what? This is the girl that I want to marry. Dating means dick at the end for all that's involved. Online dating, going to the restaurant and dating, fucking speed dating. Dating is an analogy for dick at the end. The ego and the arrogance for you to start to find a husband or a high quality man, you better off just going to church and doing praise and worship and meeting a deacon or a minister or something and befriending him, you know, getting to know him and a pastor than going on a fucking date. Get into a social community where if you are a woman and you enter into any social community, bingo hall, Toastmasters, Alcoholics Anonymous, a knitting club, you know,
The bowling league,
fantasy football, any social environment, men will get to know you and deem if you wife material or not. You trying to be romanced and took out on dates.
You want to be
Just mean
courted?
you want to be courted like it's the fucking medieval times? No. If a modern man takes you to a restaurant, he is praying to Zeus, Athena, Oshun, Obatala, Baphomet, that you
he on his Shango for real. He on his Shango for real.
What about them
petitioning the gods?
Yo,
what about them Ogun
he
niggas?
like this at the table. One more sip.
Hey, you want another drink? Would you want another drink? Bartender, she wants
Bring the
another
bottle.
drink.
Bring the bottle. Bring the bottle over this bitch.
And you want to find a man. You want to be a quality, whatever, have a quality relationship. You got to develop a hobby outside of getting on online dating. You got to find a hobby outside of just walking down your popular street downtown where the niggas be catcalling you at. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that one of the niggas that you just so happen to get in contact with is going to marry your ass. No, he's going to want to fuck. He's going to want to fuck. It's a lot of niggas online on the app. 99.9% of the guys on the app is pulling their dick out day one.
Day one. Especially if niggas got big dick energy. And he's like, what? You want to see this thing?
Yo.
Hell of a pause.
Because I've been around a lot of men who's been married before and has been through trauma. And once they done and got out of marriage, they like, I'm through with that shit. I'm cool on that shit. And all they telling you about how's they piping shit down. Or they with a girl and they like, I ain't trying to marry her. She cool and all, you know what I'm saying? She nice to have around.
Bro. There's nothing good that she's gonna get from the dating scene. Like the big homie just said, she need to go. She need Jesus. That's what she need. She need to go sit her ass down somewhere, right, and just sit in the pew and just meet the pastor's brother or something. Like do like you need to go on a
the front row.
Praise the Lord. Like you need to get the Holy Ghost in you. Like Shimon and Naya should have brought a Honda. Like
bring in some fried chicken to the church dinner, shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus,
having niggas saying, "Hey, who cooked this chicken?" I did. Okay, Miss Sister Sally, you got some good. You put some seasoning on this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it's gonna work. You acting like
she playing a young woman's game.
It's like I dipped it in egg yolk before,
Facts.
then I covered it in flour and dropped it in grease.
And the fucked up part is not even a young woman's game because the young woman is getting nothing but fucked on the internet. What are we talking about?
That's it.
They're not getting married.
Nope.
Through the dating apps. They're getting caught.
You would think that after all of this time, they would understand how men think, right? Men is about conquering, right? So if you give him the box on the first day or the seventh day, right? After he get the box, he is Gucci. Like, you don't understand. Like, men are weird in that when they get what they want, they realize they didn't really want it. Post-nut clarity is so crazy for men. Women, I need y'all to understand this. Post-nut clarity is crazy for men. He will do everything that he can to get to that nut. And then once he gets that nut, he realizes he ain't want that shit in the first place.
After the nut, that's the real man you're talking to. That's the real him.
That's a fact.
You ask him anything after that, he gon' man. I honestly, I don't know
that.
why.
Try and cuddle. Try and cuddle after that. Try and cuddle after that.
All you gonna hear is that motherfucking game click on. Or that nigga gonna walk out smoking a cig.
Don't let him be in your house. Don't let him be in your house because if he ain't driving, the Uber gonna be downstairs. He gonna hit the automatic start button while he's still in the bed putting his clothes
on. God, all you gonna hear is I got times for this and this. Maybe we can relink. No, maybe we can fucking get on Wednesday. Then you can go back about your business.
Mm-hmm. See, the sacred whore could get away with having a lot of partners and being okay with just connecting with a bunch of partners. But most of the women that exist within our realm are not sacred whores. Like, they don't want to be sacred whores. I mean, some of them damn well act like sacred whores, but they don't want to be sacred whores. So being able to compartmentalize that emotional connection that you build with a person that you're having sex with and then turn it off and go to another partner, yeah, that's a lot difficult. A lot more difficult for a woman than it is for a man. That's just the reality.
Hey, this is what post-nut clarity be looking like. Hold on.
Ooh, 30 seconds is down. Follow up. You know that. I said, you stupid. You know you stupid. So cute. Appreciate it, pizza. You're crazy. Yeah. You're so stupid. We got that necklace though.
Oh,
that necklace fine shit. You see? That's so good. I know you had that. You need to get your hair done too. Like, I seen.
Why you being weird?
What are you talking about?
You love me?
You know I love you, girl. What are you talking about?
Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Okay, then give me a kiss. If you love me, give me a kiss.
After what you just did. You just ate.
Desi, seriously.
Your lips.
My lips what?
Can't go on my lips.
What you talking about?
Your tongue. Can't go on.
You being weird, bro.
Your breath. Can't go on my breath.
Your breath.
After what you just did.
What I do?
You lost it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
It was gone.
Goodbye.
I couldn't even see it.
Couldn't see it.
And you need to taste my smoke.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I'm a man. Look at my feet. Wow.
You gonna pay to get my hair done?
That's fine. I won't be doing this. Kissing your lips. Yo. 30 seconds is down. Follow up.
Yo. Yeah, that's 1000% right. Like, you ever have sex with a woman that you know is not going to be anything more than that, and like right after you have sex with her, like you find all of the flaws in her, like immediately after the sex, like that's post-nut clarity. Like, you didn't see these flaws before you wanted to hit, right? But after you hit, you see everything. You just like, oh shit! It's like the veil is lifted.
Mm-hmm. That's like some slave mind shit. Like you, like your little bro down there leading you.
But it centers back to God for me, because like in having understanding women is through understanding the negative aspects related to the relationship thing, because in your heart you want to have a positive relationship, but the manifestation is not a positive relationship because you lack God, you lack order, you lack structure, you lack understanding, you lack all of the things necessary to have a successful relationship, which it comes 100% from the man, because the man is naturally in a position to, you know, I guess for lack of better words, lead. However, if he's not leading, if he doesn't see that within himself, if he doesn't do the psychological study and really refine what it means to be not just a man, but a spiritual being having a human experience and understanding all of the things that you have to handle and all of the things that's going to take place in your life, like to stand up in that role, you need a willing participant, right? And a lot of times when you get into relationships, it's all about what she want, where she want to go, what she want to do. And when it comes to like building a kingdom or understanding and understanding the relationship between human and God, we don't really have it, because the point of it all is that we live in a hedonistic society, and the thing that a person wants is pleasure. So if you want to have a successful relationship, your idea is that I'm going to give this person pleasure, 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 pleasure. I'm gonna give her money. I'm gonna give her cock. I'm gonna give her trips. I'm gonna give her dips. I'm gonna give her that. And in reality, I've seen people do that just for the girl to be a cunt, just for the girl to be mean, just for the girl to just cheat, or whatever the case may be. So all of this to say, if there isn't any reality in the relationship, any psychological truth within the relationship is going to fail, because the only thing that will substantiate a relationship in this modern world is pleasure. But pleasure is always on a spectrum that immediately leads to pain. So if your relationship is pleasure centered, when y'all not going on the trips, y'all mad at each other. When y'all not fucking, y'all mad at each other. When y'all not going to the restaurant, y'all mad at each other. The reality is that y'all need to create an equilibrium that can only exist in real time. And so it used to be a time where family was the only way you could find a partner.
Yep. Because your father, your mother and your father used to pick the partner for the woman.
Or your auntie knew of a guy and her auntie knew of another guy and you met through that way. I've like Jamaicans still introduce people via the family, you know, aunties, uncles, cousins type of deal. Oh, you know, and they would see, they know their cousin and they might meet you and be like, "Oh, I got a cousin. You would be perfect for her." Right. And they'll
Indians, Arabs, and Chinese still do that.
facts. So but you know, in this reality, in this paradigm, in this hedonistic paradigm, because whether or not you willing to accept that you're a hedonist or not, the reality is already set. So I can talk about motherfuckers acting holier than thou, but that's delusional, right? The reality is that everybody is out here seeking pleasure. And so when you try to fit and wonder why it's not working out, why you single, why you lonely, why you upset, is because you are immersed in pain. That pain didn't come from nowhere. That pain came from you being a pleasure seeker, sweetheart.
That's a fact.
It came from it's all on the same. Pleasure and pain are one and the same. They're kissing cousins. They're twins. You don't get one without the other.
You got hot and cold water.
It's either going to be one or the same. So where is your balance at? What is your effort towards reality? Because it's going to be some bad times and some good times in the modality of a relationship.
And do you have the intestinal fortitude to weather the storm?
Or are you just a special motherfucker that's going to enter into the dating market and the nigga's going to just be all stricken by your beauty and give you a fucking diamond ring and say, "I want to marry you. This is love at first sight."
You're a unicorn then. You're a unicorn. If that's the case, you are a unicorn. Because the crazy part about a man is that a man will spend a bunch of money on you, but he won't marry you.
Or a man to have a lot of money and a girl fuck a guy because he got a lot of money, but no money was exchanged. That's happening a lot more. That's the norm. They want to fuck a guy with a lot of money, but he not giving you none.
It's like
because that's why I got a lot of money, because you don't give it to people. Right? He keeps it.
The crash out ex to Travis Kelce. You know.
Oh yeah,
she's making her viral move through the airways because she gave this real stern look to Angel Reese during the interview and said, do I look like I would go 50-50? And yet that man ended up with a woman that makes 10 times more than both of them put together, and she probably doesn't have a problem with going 50-50. Boo-boo, you lost. Like, you lost.
But yeah, it's an arrogance that, there's gonna, because essentially a hedonistic mind is everything feeds into the hedon. So therefore, the man is just an extension of the narcissist that says you are just here for my pleasure. Right. And in that reality, you can't fully exist in a strong, stable relationship. You just can't do it. So eventually the man leaves or the woman leaves because, she's either, the reason that I've heard why women leave a lot of time because they just wasn't happy. Have you ever heard that before?
All the time. I think that's the number one thing that I hear. I wasn't happy.
Happiness is equated to pleasure. You understand that? Like that's pleasure.
It's also an inside thing. It's not outside.
No, joy is an inside thing. Happiness is external. You happy from the external. Somebody is doing happy happenstance. Something must happen for me to be happy. Right.
That's a fact.
And the effort and energy that a person takes in making you happy is only it's like a gas tank. How do you fill that up? Gawk 3000 on one, please. Pump one. I get a Gawk 3000 on pump one. Like, why is you pleasing that man like that? Because he pleases me. I please the person that pleases me. But you can't do that with 10 niggas.
No.
You can't do that with 10 women. You can do that with one person. You got to develop a rapport. But at the same time, this is communication. This is a lot that goes into it. That the dating app, you think you're going to get on a dating app and find somebody? Come on.
Need some tantra in your life.
Let's see what she had to say.
Casual. I mean, listen, we're older now. We're grown, right? He's still trying to play those 20s games. Casual. You're talking about inside my body, and especially for younger women who are in their fertile prime. You're letting a loaded gun inside you. This is why we have so many children that are not taken care of right now, whose fathers are where? Because we are allowing ourselves to be contorted, manipulated, and bent out of our higher vibration. I told you all that
Yeah, man.
Listen, I got something called the flame out. The ashwagandha is perfect for the mood. Get your mood right. Balance that thing on out.
Hold on. Do that again, man.
Flame out. You know what I'm saying? Ashwagandha. We're gonna move that thing on out. Balance that mood on out, honey. Because you ain't gonna find what you think you're gonna find online. That's a bar. Flameshop.com. Or flameon.shop. I apologize. Flameon.shop.
Put it in the chat so people can get well informed on the science. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and we got Strong Ali. We got Lion's Mane. We got the Flame On pill, which is ashwagandha, lion's mane, black macaroon, and Tonga Ali. And we got that black maca by itself too. So it's only $23 a bottle. You get a month supply for $23. Any 2 bottles at 30. I've been using this stuff while I've been creating these products, and I've been on it for about a month now, and I feel great. So just saying, there are alternatives out there, healthy alternatives out there, as opposed to just filling those pleasure centers.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's been times when I've been down, but when I just got on some herbs, my consciousness was raised. So, and having that long jack in my tea, along with ashwagandha, really gets me started for my day.
Yeah, I'm up to like 2 ounces, 2 grams of that black maca and that ashwagandha a day now.
Yeah, so the guys be going nuts. So I was like, damn, now I gotta give me 3 grams.
She said, well, what she said, putting a loaded gun inside. What she said? She said a loaded gun. But that is a great comparison. That shit is a loaded gun, bro.
Indeed, man. But at the same time, it's not bad when you have a consistent partner that you can love and trust. That's the part that if anything we said didn't resonate, like they're like, oh, y'all don't want to have sex, y'all don't like women. No, we don't like having sex with random bitches on the street. We don't like seeing y'all out here fucking random niggas on the street, in whatever case may be. But if the situation is wholesome, if the situation brings peace, yeah, go crazy. Even OnlyFans and sex, like all of this stuff is very beautiful when it's sacred. But the sacred is being drained out through the overindulgence and the paradox of overabundance. You can't have more pain. You can't have more pleasure. You're either going to have pain or pleasure, and you get to choose.
That's the
bar. And you can balance it through doing real shit, like getting better at something. You know what I mean?
That's the bar, bro. Overindulgence. That's the bar right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this really look into the card of the day, which is the 8 of Cups, and that'll really give you a deep understanding, because before the 8 of Cups is the 6 of Cups, which is pleasure, and then the 7 Cups, which is debauchery, which get into those 2 things, and 8 is the magnified example of it.
The crazy part about it is that all of this shit with pleasure seeking and multiple partners and all of that, like if you actually thought about being creative, like you could create these atmospheres with your partner, and then you can, like Hood say, go fucking crazy and do it on your own, but with your partner.
Yeah, and what's crazy? I remember in church when I was a young man, they was teaching us about how sex was wrong with multiple people and shit. They was letting you know, like, yeah, once you get your partner and you have sex, ain't no more sneakiness. Ain't no more getting this thrill of, yeah, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to. Like, you gotta realize how demonic that is. Like, you enjoying doing something that no one else ain't gonna see, and you hiding it. With your partner, is only y'all two. Like, yeah, we just did that. All right, let's go back to the party.
It says the paradox of abundance, the idea that an excess of something can be detrimental to the average person while being beneficial to a select few. So it gives you examples to say health, obesity rates, and the number of people that are in excellent shape are both increasing. So people are getting healthy and people are getting fat in the same world, right? Food. People are overweight not because there is a lack, because there is an abundance. Think about that. In reference to abundance, people always in the spiritual community always talking about abundance and abundance this and abundance that. Yeah, that's why you a fat fuck, right? Because you got an abundance of food, right? Bad news can drive out good news. So in reference to, it's a lot of technological advances, a lot of good things that's happening in the world in reference to AI, cryptocurrency, financial systems. But in reference to the bad news, it's taking over. Like people would talk about Gucci third leg versus that crypto is getting closer to 70,000, right?
Yep.
Which, what I'm saying, is good news, but in reference to the bad news, people don't actually want to focus on the good news. And it makes me think about everything that I do, right? And I think about everything that I do is I try to be a good person, But when I look at the world is so centered on pleasure, and pleasure being so detrimental to people. It's like, how do I, and that's why I've been confused about. That's why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to kind of talk through this shit with the brothers and really just get my mind clear, because I was so confused and a little bit disheartened, because people want the bad
more than the good.
They want the bad more than the good. They don't want to take the herbs. They don't want to have the psychedelic experience. They don't want to sit with themselves and meditate and do what's necessary, because the anxiety and the ADHD and the mind control have become so strong and so pungent that niggas don't even have the attention span. Ever since TikTok, this shit have been fried, man.
Yeah. 60-second reels.
Yeah, it's been fried.
And find yourself scrolling all day thinking you had a good abundance of things that you watch and you think you learned something, but no, like that's your brain being fried. Like you catch yourself scrolling, you be like, damn. Like I had to go in there and be like, you know, you had that same video playing for the last hour. Turn your phone off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these reels do to you. They'll have you sitting with a video playing constantly, having that being tapped in your subconscious mind, and then you wondering why you have Boosie yelling on you in your dreams, telling me put that pussy on live.
Can we pause that Boosie real quick?
Yeah, pause. Yeah.
Can we pause that?
I'm not dreaming about Boosie. I promise you, I actually had a dream about counting money, and I was with the guys.
Yo,
because Boosie came out of nowhere.
Pause. We just
Bussy came out of nowhere.
Bussy, yeah,
I think you.
I thought he was saying Bussy, Boosie, like
yeah, Boosie. That's what I meant to say.
He said Boosie, but he said Bussy.
Yeah, that was that Freudian slip because his mind was on that box.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep it 9 hours away.
Man.
But you love those cougars, though. You need to stop giving readings to those cougars because you're gonna
big bro, yo, you snitching on me.
I know you're gonna smash one of them cougars, and that's
we don't do readings for pussy, man. Nah.
I hope you're not doing readings.
Nah, man, that's gonna fuck up the flame. See, what you gotta think about when you got a team and a group, everything you do affects them.
Yo.
So if I'm out here doing readings for pussy, that's fucking up the flame.
All I'm saying is we ought to fuck around and find out, guys. So like I get it, you know what I'm saying? But just as long as you in order, we good.
Yeah, so when you join that Discord, you know what I'm saying, be ready to show your content off. Not no scam, not no PO.
No sex in the champagne room.
No sex, and we gotta get on top of that lunar club. I've been thinking about that. We gotta teach the chart and get into the chart and have a discussion on the charts. But look forward to that. Join the Discord, join Lunar Conversations, join the masterminds.
You know, I saw some goddesses in there talking already. It would be awesome and beautiful if, like, you know, more goddesses rap with them and y'all really get to talking about y'all womb. You know what I'm saying? Like, really link up. Y'all rap with that. Talk about things y'all do with each other on a personal level. You don't always have to be in the chat, like, saying I did this and that. But I feel like that's a deep thing with the Lunar.
Colombian Exchange got those Yoni chairs with the Yoni steam kits. So, I
mean, y'all can get y'all Yoni steam and have a podcast of y'all Yoni steam and rapping.
Word them up. I would watch that. I would subscribe to that.
It's getting steamy in here, but no, and that was a pun. That pun was
steam
intended.
Podcast.
That pun was intended.
That pun was intended. But anyways, man, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programs. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Talk about AD Serpent. Thank y'all for helping me sort some things out mentally. And with all that being said, thanks to the audience for being good sports, being active in the chat. We appreciate you. Join the Discord, so we can stay connected after the live. With all that being said, man, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please take them up in the Discord, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side or the next video. Peace.
Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?